What's going on, guys? Welcome back to SDG. Who doesn't love a crappie swim jig, right? I know that where I fish out at a lake called Maple Lake, it's loaded with crappie. So when I was on Lure Parts Online the other day making an order, I had been scoping out a Chameleon Color-Shift. You guys know I love Color-Shift. That was just called crappie. And I toyed with getting it. I finally pulled the trigger, just bought 10 just to check it out, see what it was like, and pretty blown away. It's awesome. I'm going to throw up a picture here of the crappie I'm targeting. As you can see, it's got a dark green top, it's got a classic whitish underbelly, and then that crappie side to it. I hope you guys like it. Let me run through. Oh, I got one more little special ad on this build too. So let me run through the materials, show you what I'm going to use, and then we'll jump in. We will start with half tab white with silver flake, pretty standard fare. Then we've got a new material, and I'm going to put it on right after that one, before any of the silicone goes on top. You'll see why. It is it's called Ice Dub Minnowback Shimmer Fringe. Check that stuff out. It's got a backing on it, UV properties to it. Very cool, very kind of light, wispy, hairy stuff. This one, again, Lure Parts Online, it is the Pearl Olive UV Blue Back. So I think that's going to be a nice complement because, as you saw in the picture, the crappie that I'm going for has that darker green top. So this is going to give that shimmer flash, some UV quality to it. But I am going to add a half tab of dark watermelon candy to that. And what that's going to do it's going to function in two ways. It's going to give me that dark green top, but it's also going to function to hold this shimmer fringe down. So I think without that, it would have a tendency to kind of separate from the jig. And here is the crappie color shift. We'll have 2 tabs of this stuff. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, holy moly. Between the barring, the little bit of a sparkle, just the tone, it's got some green flake in there. I like it. White 210 denier, flat wax nylon. And I'll talk about the jig head that we're going to use here in just a second. So let's jump into the build. So as promised, here's the jig head. Just like last week with Reed, we are diving back into the poison tail. This is a 1/2 ounce, not a 1 ounce poison tail jig head, 4/0 hook. I just love red eyes. I went with green. I played around with a couple different colors for the head because you could kind of go white, you could kind of go silver. I went green just because the top kind of molds down into the head, so I thought it looked best. You guys can be the judge. Let's see. But anyway, and I just love a red eye. They don't have red eyes, I know, but I like red eyes. I think they look cool. Let's get started by laying down a thread base 210 denier, using white primarily because of the color of that. This color's got more of a white than a green in it, but you can go either way. 1/2 tab white underbelly. Stick that guy right there. I'm not going to want this to roll over to the side. I need all that space for the other tabs, so we definitely want this as just a true underbelly. So get it right there and try to keep it from rolling over. That looks good. Perfect. Now we're going to flip it all the way over. We're going to put in the shimmer fringe next, and we're going to reverse tie it, so then when the silicone now doing it out of order. This guy's got to go in first, so when the silicone folds over, it will be inside. So that 1/2 tab of watermelon, dark watermelon candy goes on next. That would have been disastrous. All right, measure it out, right? measure it out, make sure they're the same. Again, we want this to stay on top. Alright, 3 tabs total for this build. Okay, now a little patch of Shimmer Fringe. So I'm just going to grab however much you like. I've never been bashful with materials, as you all are well aware. So there, I don't know, what's that, a quarter of an inch wide, something like that. I don't know, I'm making it up. I've never used this stuff. I thought it looked awesome, so we're gonna go with it and see how it looks. So it's not very long, right? We'll spin it around in my hands, and we're going to reverse tie this guy. And again, I want this to stay right on top. I don't want it to spread out too much. I don't want it to, certainly don't want it to roll over. Just like that. Now if you wanted to, and I probably will because I'm anal like that, just trim this little bit. So again, right, that top silicone will do the job of pushing it over, but as it swims, should see, theoretically, you're going to see kind of that stuff peek through every now and then. So that looks really good. Let's get the silicone out of the way. Just clip it there, grab all this together, clip it on the front. There we go. And now one of these on each side, and I do want it to overlap the green. So we're going to take the silicone, meet it at the top, and then come down and leave a space on the bottom for the white. So we're not going to overlap the white, but we are going to overlap the green and the Shimmer Fringe on top. So turn that a bit. Measure it out. Got it a little bit long, so I'm going to pull it back. There we go. There we go. Now the edges are lining up. So again, I want it to meet the white, not overlap, but then I want it to go right down the middle of the top of that jig head. Just like that. It's right down the middle. Now, pinch this guy, try not to let him. Every time you tighten up silicone, it wants to roll away from you because you're wrapping the thread this way. So you just got to take that into consideration. Make sure that it didn't get too wonky on you. That looks really good. So tighten that down with a couple more turns. I'm going to go ahead, just so I don't trap any of it, I like to keep the silicone nice and tight, or as tight as I can anyway, away from that collar, so I don't trap a bunch down. There we go. And now we'll put in our last piece. Two wraps to secure. Measure it out. Still a little long on that one. I don't know, maybe these they come out of the factory just a little bit longer than others. There we go. And again, I'm going to move this one up to meet the other. Right? Meet the other. Make sure that that's got good coverage. Push it down just to meet the white but not overlap it. That looks really good. Let's tighten it all down. Love using new material. Just so much creativity you can have in it, right? It's really a lot of fun. So let's make a thread collar with this and finish her up. Alright, there you go. Now let's whip finish it. Loon water-based head cement. Put that guy on there. If anybody's wondering, this new Renzetti saltwater vise, I'm digging it. Very smooth, very nice. I'm still pretty new into it. Haven't tied a whole bunch on it, certainly not as much as on the last one, but so far vices are plenty big. I mean, this 4/0, it's got room to spare, so very cool vise. When I cut this, I want to make sure I don't cut the shimmer fringe, so I gotta be careful to separate. Grab just the silicone, do it in stages here so I don't accidentally snip something I shouldn't. Alright, I think that will do it. There we go. See how the green keeps it contained? Oh yeah, that green top keeps it contained, but it's going to shine through. That UV, those UV properties will shine through, and some of those other colors I think are going to complement this crappie skirt very nicely. So I haven't decided on the color of the weed guard. Probably going to be either green pumpkin or maybe clear, one of the two. I'll figure that out. I will install this here Keitech, get some close-up shots for you guys, and then of course it's only 15 gallons, so we can't get a whole lot of movement out of it, but we're going to put this in the test tank and see how it swims. Shimmer Fringe, Crappie, Color-Shift Chameleon skirt. Yeah, that works. Go build you one, catch a bunch on it. I hope you do. And hey, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more just like it, then click on this video right here. If you're curious why I call the channel what I call it, then click on this video right here. Otherwise, until the next time, I'll see you guys at